Two U.S. B-1 bombers have flown over the Korean Peninsula amid escalating tensions between Washington and Pyongyang over North Korea's ballistic missile and nuclear programs. According to a U.S. Pacific Air Force's commander, the bombers' 10-hour mission was in direct response to North Korea's ballistic missile tests. The American bombers took off from a base in Guam before flying over Japanese and South Korean airspace. Pyongyang's ICBM launches this month sparked international condemnations and a stark warning from the United States and South Korea. Washington accused Russia and China of inaction, saying that the two bear the responsibility for the growing North Korean threat. In a pair of tweets on Saturday, the U.S. president took a fresh jab at China. Donald Trump said that Beijing had done nothing for Washington with regard to Pyongyang, although they were allowed by, quote, foolish past American leaders to make hundreds of billions of dollars in trade. Publisher and editor of Politics First, Mr. Marcus Papadopoulos, joins us now from the British capital, London. Mr. Papadopoulos, welcome to the program. Let's go over the recent comments made by the U.S. President Donald Trump. He stated that not just himself, but his administration and the White House are accusing Russia and China of inaction, saying that they bear responsibility for the situation that they're at right now with North Korea. What do you think about that?
Well, what Mr. Trump has said is nothing but preposterous nonsense. While I oppose nuclear proliferation, I do understand why North Korea has developed nuclear weapons and has developed the capacity to deliver these nuclear weapons. The key ability here is empathy. We have to show empathy towards North Korea. North Korea is an independent, sovereign country which wants to defend itself from all external threats. And North Korea is faced constantly with an American government, and it doesn't matter who's the president, but an American government which is extremely hostile towards North Korea and unofficially has the policy of wanting to overthrow the North Korean government so that America can be the dominant power throughout the Korean Peninsula. And of course, American power would be on Russia's eastern borders, because of course North Korea shares a border with Russia. And the North Koreans are really under a terrible pressure on a daily basis from the American military. North Korea is surrounded by thousands upon thousands of American soldiers. In South Korea, there are 28,000 American soldiers. In Guam, there are 6,000. And of course, in Japan, there is approximately 60,000 American soldiers. And on a fairly regular basis, there are massive military maneuvers by the Americans and the South Koreans. And also, some of those maneuvers involve an imaginary American nuclear strike on North Korea. Now, I spoke about empathy. If we just put ourselves in the shoes of the North Korean leadership, which is not something that politicians or journalists in the West do, but if we just put ourselves in the shoes of the North Korean leadership, how would we feel if we were faced with a superpower which has deployed thousands of soldiers around our country, and it's constantly coming out with some of the most appalling antagonistic rhetoric towards our country? We would seek the ultimate defense, and the ultimate defense is nuclear weapons. And we must always remember that America has never attacked, has never invaded or bombed a country which has nuclear weapons.
Thank you very much, sir. Publisher and editor of Politics First, Mr. Marcus Papadopoulos, joining us from London.